A New Orleans area company is helping save our coastline, one bottle at a time. Instead of glass piling up in landfills, Glass Half Full takes them and crushes them and then turns them into sand and gravel for restoration projects. Check it out.
I think since day one, we said, hey, what if we recycled glass in Louisiana? And everyone was like, yes, like, please, like, take my glass.
That was Franziska Troutman, co-founder and CEO of Glass Half Full, a recycling initiative in New Orleans that transforms glass waste into sand and gravel for various uses, like coastal restoration and disaster relief. She and her partner, Max Stites, developed this idea during a break from finals. So, how did two Tulane University seniors come up with the concept of starting a glass recycling business?
It started, like most good ideas, over a bottle of wine.
Yeah, I love it.
My co-founder Max and I were sharing a $2 chuck from Trader Joe's.
Nice.
While we were seniors at Tulane. And when the bottle was empty, we realized it would end up in a landfill because we didn't have adequate glass recycling here in South Louisiana. And we thought that was a shame. And so we thought, what could we do with glass? Could we come up with some way to make sure it's not just going to the landfill? And that's when we found this tiny little machine that took one bottle at a time, and you could just pop a bottle in the top of the machine and it turned into sand. And that's when things just started to click.
What began as just an idea among friends developed into a planet-saving powerhouse glass recycling company that the southern region of the world didn't know it needed.
Growing up in South Louisiana, you always hear about our coastal erosion crisis, how scary it is, how much land we lose, and it felt like sand was something that could at least help combat that issue. But it was just an idea. You know, we didn't know necessarily that it was gonna work, but having studied chemical engineering at Tulane and knowing some incredible professors there, we were able to apply for a National Science Foundation grant that got us the ability to start like doing that research of like, okay, this is an idea. And we just hope to be like one small part of that like sediment issue that we have in Louisiana, which is like you need sediment to be able to build back land. And whether that's some of the ways we've been using it, which is like building berms to protect plants and kind of help like the natural process and ecosystem restart, or potentially using it in like terraces and different structures.
In just a few short years, Glass Half Full has had monumental success, quickly outgrowing their first machine that could handle only one glass at a time.
A long way from that guy, huh?
Oh yeah, so this is the machine we started with, the one bottle at a time system. So you would just pop a bottle into the top here and sand would come out the bottom. So yeah, definitely a very big difference.
That's right.
They now have the capacity to recycle thousands of bottles at a time and have enough resources to aid neighboring states on the coast like Mississippi and Alabama. They've even secured partnerships with companies around the region who have all vowed to donate their glass for recycling. Jason Anderson, CEO of the Baton Rouge Gallery and a recent Glass Half Full partner, says when he found out about the work that Franziska and her team were doing, it was a no-brainer, and he signed up right away.
Well, it actually started with one of our artist members here at the gallery who had shared a video of a TED Talk that one of the founders of Glass Half Full had done. Having not been aware of the project that they had undertaken prior to that video, just got really excited about what they were doing and how a late night drink amongst friends and turned it into an effort to rebuild our coast. And so we reached out to them and said, you know, we have a lot of community events, a lot of community building events that include wine, and we've got wine bottles at the end of the night that are presumably ending up in landfills, and if we can have them redirected somewhere else for a better cause, then we'd love to see about making that happen.
Jason says after their events, they go through about 500 to 600 wine bottles a week, and he couldn't think of a better way to dispose of those bottles.
They'll take it to their processing plant in Chalmette, and eventually that glass will make its way to different coastline projects that they've got going.
And how cool is that? It's shaved down to sand to be repurposed for our coastland. Just what a great idea, and what a great initiative to be a part of.
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's one of those ideas that you hear about and you're like, why wasn't that already a thing? You know?
Now, after hearing more of the Glass Half Full Recycling Initiative and more of Franziska and Max's story, I asked her to share her plans for the future.
We just started this partnership with the Baton Rouge Gallery because we've started expanding, basically. This facility enables us to collect more glass than we ever thought possible when we were in that backyard with that tiny machine. And so now, with this new facility, we really want more glass. So the more glass we can get, the more good we can do, right? The more sand we can make, the more jobs we can create. So we want everyone's glass, especially in South Louisiana. But we're also expanding out into Mississippi, Alabama, and we hope to expand out to Florida soon as well.